doing a lot of work fighting a little sickness around here. We've had a few guys get the stomach virus or whatever, as Menzie had yesterday, so he was excused and could not practice. Trying to keep other guys from getting any worse than they are. But, what we've tried to emphasize, is if we're going to be a high-functioning program, that there are certain things that you have to do, and that will create the right habits for you to be able to play and be consistent as a player, and that's what will give you an advantage, when you compete in the game. And it's the standard, that we want to get to, and I really think that we need to make some improvements in some areas in terms of the standard that we work and the things that we do, so that we can, continue to develop and function like we want to. We want to start fast, finish strong in every game, dominate the competition, and it's not easy to do. And you got to practice and prepare very well to be able to do that. We face a lot of different things each week, whether it's defenses and blitzes and different types of offenses, and guys really have to be mature about how they go about preparing so that they can go out and get the kind of reps in practice that's going to enable them to be confident in what they do. So that's something that we've really tried to emphasize this week, and we'll continue to emphasize throughout the course of the year. From an injury standpoint, Mark is doing extremely well, hadn't had any issues or problems, and has done quite a bit in practice. Courtney did a little more today than yesterday and continues to improve. James Carpenter did some work today and a lot more today than yesterday. Menzie was back today after being sick yesterday, so we don't really have any new injuries to report.
Coach, after 2 games, you mentioned James Carpenter, but just the offensive line and in particular DJ Fluker, how has he progressed after 2 games as a freshman, just getting back in after a year off?
DJ's done a nice job for us. I think the offensive line has done a really good job, so far this year. James is playing really well, has made a lot of improvement from a year ago. He's a little bigger, a little stronger, a lot more confident in terms of what's expected of him. And DJ is going to get better and better as time goes on. And, the inside 3 guys I think have played very well. Barrett Jones, Vallejos, and Chance. Those 3 guys have played really, really well. So we've been pleased with the offensive line, and we're pleased with the development of some of the other offensive linemen who haven't had the opportunity to play as much. But I think those guys have done a really good job, and, DJ's continued progress is going to be important for, our offensive team.
There could be some times on Saturday when there's as many as 4 players from Hoover High School on that field. You've got a couple of coaches from that high school as well. What is it about that high school that makes it special?
Well, I think it's, they have a great tradition there. They have a great program. And I think any time that you have a great program and you have great tradition, it's because of the individual people that, make it what it is. And football is really important there. They've had a lot of great players there, playing all over the country, actually. We've got some good players from there. We've got some good people in our organization from there that has, helped us be successful here. So I think it's all about the people, the tradition that they have, and I know it's a hard work program, and they really work hard over there, and that enhances the young people's chances of being successful when they get out because of the kind of attitude that they have. So I have a tremendous amount of respect for quite a few programs in the state, but that's one that you have a little special respect for.
Coach, you prepare for David Cutcliffe quarterback several times. What do you expect from a David Cutcliffe quarterback, when you see him, and what that shows you what kind of quarterback coach he is?
Well, I think that it's always evident that the quarterback is really in command of the offense, the system, has a great understanding of, the whole setup. I mean, where to run the ball, where to throw it when they pass it, what the protection is when they're hot. When they build check systems into it, how to implement those. And you very seldom see the quarterback lose focus, lose poise, or not be able to really execute and do exactly what the offense is supposed to be doing. And I think that's always seemed to be the case, with Coach Cutcliffe. So, and that's no different now. I mean, their quarterback is very, very efficient, very effective, very accurate with the ball, does a really good job, and the guy they had last year did the same. So I think it's just sort of the trademark of how he coaches and what he does and what his expertise is.
Coach, I wonder if I could get you to talk a little bit about your graduate assistant job, and have you always done that since you've been a head coach, and what made you decide to be a position coach as a head coach?
Well, I'm not really a position coach. I just like coaching players on defense, and I coach all the players on defense. Probably spend more individual time, with the corners, only because it's hard to have one secondary coach now, and that just happened to be what, I grew up doing. But, you work a long time to be good at something. And, I asked Buddy Ryan once when I was coaching at the Cleveland Browns, and I think he was the head coach of the Arizona Cardinals, and they had a horrible year, and I think he was about ready to lose his job or whatever. And I asked him something like, well, would you do anything different, being a head coach than what you've done as an assistant? And, his comment to me, and this always sort of resonated with me, is I was always somebody's best assistant. This is what he said. I was Mike Ditka's best assistant. We had a great defense. I was a defensive coordinator. And when I became the head coach, I wasn't my best assistant because I didn't coach like I did when I was an assistant coach. So that always kind of resonated with me as, most guys that are defensive coaches, as soon as they get to be a head coach, they want to go call the plays on offense, which they don't know anything about. So I've always just kind of stayed where I thought I could make the best contribution, which is defense and kicking game. Stayed on top of the offense and made sure that their direction was what we needed it to be to play winning football. And that's just kind of how we do it. And I enjoy doing it that way. And you got to have the right kind of staff and the right kind of people around you to be able to do it that way. And that's been a tremendous asset for us here.
Just sort of a related question. I don't know what the percentage is, but assistant coach and head coach are sort of different jobs, and what maybe 5%, but head coaches usually come from assistants, but maybe like 5% of them. Did you always aspire to be a head coach when you were an assistant, and can you say why so few make it?
Well, there's only so many opportunities, first of all, to answer your second part of your question, but I don't think that being a head coach is different than being an assistant coach. It just takes more, there's more things that you have to do. You have to wear more hats, which some people aren't real comfortable doing. I don't know very many head coaches that weren't really good assistant coaches. And I know a lot of good assistant coaches that may or may not get an opportunity to be head coaches, but so I just think there's more things that you have to do. And some people don't feel comfortable doing those things. They don't feel comfortable having this press conference. They don't feel comfortable going around and speaking to people. They don't enjoy doing those types of things. They don't enjoy the motivational part, the psychological development, whatever you want to call it, attitude-wise of the players, the team, all that. They might like the technical aspects of football, and they might like to teach. So there's a lot of different types of people who coach that have different strengths. And I think on a good staff, you want to have all those types of guys on your staff. Everybody shouldn't be the same. I think that's what makes the best team.
Coach, can you comment on Robert Lester and what you've seen out of him this season?
Robert's done a nice job for us. He's played well in 2 games. He's getting a lot more confident, communicating better, developing a little chemistry with the people that, play around him. And he has played. He's done a nice job in the 2 games. We continue to. There's areas to improve, and he's a conscientious guy and working hard to improve in some of those areas. But he has also made some plays, in the games and been in the right place for the most part, and is not a guy that makes a lot of mental errors. So he has done a nice job for us in the 2 games so far.
We're closing in on the anniversary of Dante Hightower's knee injury. What are the last things that kind of come back from an injury, and what does it say about him that he's out there doing what he's doing now after having that?
Well, a lot of people that play this game have ACLs, and a lot of people come back and play well and play for a long time and aren't affected by it. And, Dante worked hard to, it's a shame that he got hurt, and it's, we felt terrible that he got hurt, but at the same time, he's managed it and handled it well and worked hard to get back to being an effective, productive player for us. And, I don't really understand your question, but he's done everything that he can do so far, and I'm sure he'll continue to gain more confidence and play better as he plays more. And but we've been pleased with his performance to this point.